Hey everyone, how's it going? So we are on day 5 of phase 2 recovery, and things are going okay. It's been a little bumpy because I have had a difficult time adjusting to the compression and having to wear this binder all the time, which I don't think you can really see. Let me see if I can show you here. So if you can see this binder that I have on, um, it's kind of difficult, right? And then I have Spanx on underneath that and then padding underneath that. So it's been a little difficult and I have to wear it 24/7. I really only get to take it off when I take a shower. So it's been a lot to get used to, both because it sort of hits the edges of my hip incisions where they buried the dog ears, and that's been a little spicy. So it's just taking its time for me to get comfortable. And then because I can only sleep on my back right now, along with having this like compression going on, it's like, it's just a thing. So that's been challenging for sure. And I'm like trying to, I keep trying to work with it and find my way. I did call my doctor and say, is there anything else I can do? Do I have to wear the binder? And he's like, you have to wear the binder. So trying to figure it out. I feel like today is a better day. I'm finally kind of figuring it out a little bit. I've moved to now wearing a t-shirt underneath the binder to help with that not being directly against my skin and being so itchy. So we'll see how that goes, but so far so good there. The pain overall, I have some spicy spots, right? So the underarm, so this arm in particular, where I had the deep cording in the side of my breast and pulling down underneath. I don't have the pulling underneath now, but I do have the pulling up here. And there is one spot where they did the both the lipo and then a sort of a re-injection of the fat. That is in particular very sore and spicy. And so I need to try to keep moving it around, which is very difficult. And because it is right in the armpit, it is just very, very tender. So, and then I do have a similar spot on this side, not quite as bad. But the armpits definitely seem to be a thing. And then of course this little breast line part right here. My hip incisions where they buried the dog ears is spicy, and I think that's really only because of the glue is still on, which my skin doesn't tolerate very well. So it's a little bit rashy. But then also the way the binder hits on my hips is right on top of those freaking scars. So it is particularly uncomfortable. So we did start wearing the Spanx underneath because you want greater compression across the areas where they lipoed. Anyway, it also helps to have the bandages underneath the Spanx so that they stay in place. And so you kind of have padding over the scars or the incisions, and then you have the binder over that. So all of that is sort of helping. It's better than it was when I first came home, but it is still spicy. Um, Nowhere near the level of pain or discomfort from phase 1, thank God. Um, Not as limited in mobility, although it is hard to kind of move around because the more I move around, then the more the binder sort of hits the incision, hits those spots on my hips, and kind of right into the breast line. So I am supposed to be walking every hour, which I am doing, but I should be walking more than what I am. But right now it's just a little it's a little uncomfortable, right? So trying to balance what I need to do versus like not making sure that I don't make anything worse. So, but the good news is that I really haven't had to take any pain pills during the day. I do take one at night when I go to bed because I have to sleep on my back right now, which is not my natural sleeping position. I usually sleep on my side or my stomach prior to my surgeries, but I can't do that right now, right? So sleeping on my back is kind of a weird and uncomfortable position for me. But if I kind of take a pain pill when I go to bed, then it just sort of like gets me settled in that position, and I'm not as restless through the night, which is another thing because both being a woman at 53 and having menopause and like all the things, like on top of that, then my restlessness is amped up even more. Um, and so it makes for a really restless night's sleep. But if I take a pain pill, it just kind of relaxes me and puts me out. So I have been doing that since I came home, but nothing during the day. All the rest of the pain is pretty tolerable. Um, so that's good. Incision wise, everything looks great, right? So far, so good. Everything seems to be healing well. I am starting to get a lot of the itch where the steri strips are and where the tape is. You can see I'm still pretty bruised up here. But this is even going away. And overall, you guys, I wasn't bruised nearly as bad as what I thought I would be. I'm, immunocompromised. I'm pretty sensitive. I bruise pretty easily in general. So I kind of thought that I would look like I really got put through the ringer. But overall, I have very mild bruising compared to what I've seen others go through. So I'm really grateful for that. And it helps too, right? Because then you're not as sore in those areas. So I will say this, my stomach and my abs are pretty sore. So when they lipoed those fat pockets, you're sore from the lipo in general, but then wearing the binder on top of that. And I was already still weak from my first surgery from doing the deep, that it just is like, there's just like this deep ache. Like I have to like pull myself up. It's kind of like when I get up from sitting, I have to like push myself up. Like I don't have any core strength, and I'm really noticing the absence of that, which is really sad because before my first surgery, right, I was in the best shape of my life, and I thought that I had worked really, really hard on my core to make sure that it could sustain me through these procedures, which it has overall, but I just see how weak I am now. So the good news is that in 2 more weeks, or well, around the 4 week mark, I think as long as everything is healing great, I can start going back to PT. In the meantime, I can, walk as much as possible. I can do I have to do more arm movements. I have these whole arm exercises I have to do, no weights yet. But I can start to do some seated core exercises. So I don't have to wait for that, which is really good. So I'll start incorporating those into my routine this next week. Other than that, I feel like this time around, I'll be honest, I am not a good I'm not a good patient. So I am awake enough and feel like good enough that I'm like, oh, like I'm pretty good. Like I want to try to do something, but I'm tired enough and still recovering from surgery enough that I get tired really easy and I'm really slow. So I'm kind of in that in between state, but I'm not medicated and I don't want to sleep all the time. And but I don't have the energy to like really go out and do anything. So I'm a little bit of a spinning top right now, which which kind of sucks. So I might try to go back to work next week, part-time, for a week, just to kind of ease back into it instead of taking the full 3 weeks off. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm so itchy underneath the breast line. But we'll kind of see how that does. In the meantime, with regard to phase two, I'm really happy with the result that I'm seeing. Like the before and after are amazing. Like the damage that I had to my breasts and the way they look now, I'm like I cried because I didn't know if they were going to look like that again and be able to look so good. And that makes me just so genuinely happy. Um, I am a little disappointed because I still don't have kind of the volume on the bottom that I was hoping for, but I do have sort of the look and the curve that I was going for that was lost, but the volume is gone. And so my surgeon, I did talk to him about it and we'll discuss it in my post-op, but that will be something that we'll address with phase three. Yes, phase three, where I do the nipple reconstruction, and then that's where we'll take the fat from my saddlebags and use that to really kind of do a bigger transfer to that area and hope that it sticks and gives that volume. So, but overall, you guys, I am so happy with this. I am incredibly grateful that it has so far been going as smoothly as it has. And I don't, I don't have cancer. My chances of getting cancer are under 5%. I went from 70% to under 5%. That's a really big fucking deal. Um, on the day before Thanksgiving, I'm just incredibly grateful. And I'm thinking a lot about, my mom and what she went through and the choices she didn't have. And, you know, it's just a lot to reflect on. And, you hear me say it a lot that I'm grateful for this. And as hard as it's been, I mean, I am, because it feels like I have a new lease on life, you know, scars aside, it's like that doesn't make up who I am, even though we're all associated to our identity. But like, I get to live my life in a very different way, free of the fear of hearing those words. So it's amazing, it's really amazing. Um, and that's why I'm sharing all of this, because I think from a provider perspective, somebody who has a strong family history, has a genetic gene mutation or not, um, but chooses to take action around their situation and get ahead of it before it happens, right? I think there's really great strength and power in having that choice and making that choice. Whether you choose to do anything or not, you're empowered with the knowledge to know that you can. Um, and for me, I did. And I, I'm just blown away that I'm here now. And I've had the support that I've had, and that my life feels so different and so open. So, yeah, so that's why I'm sharing, is because I think it makes a difference. I think you don't know until you're in these shoes what it feels like. And so to hear from other people that are like you, that know what you're going through, is important. So, and it's not always easy. Like, do I like coming on here saying, yeah, like my boobs didn't look good, like I chopped up my body kind of thing? No. But I do think it's important to share the message, because I think you can take control of your life and give yourself the best opportunity at a long, healthy life. And that's what I want. And that's what I chose for me. So anyway, here I am, and I'm doing great. I'm happy, I'm healthy. And other than this fucking binder, which I hate, but we'll be in for the next 6 weeks. So there might be more complaining. I'm just going to tell you now. Um, yeah, I'm good. So on the heels of this Thanksgiving holiday, I hope that you and yours have an amazing holiday. I hope it's filled with love and laughter and all the things that are special to you. Um, and yeah, be well. Talk with you soon.